How's everyone doing? We're good, yeah? So this panel is titled Fun with Lightning, Crafting Engaging Experiences and Applications in the Lightning Space. I guess it's never been a better time to really talk about building on Bitcoin. We just had a quote-unquote pro-Bitcoin president in the United States. We're at all-time highs, but as we know, we need to keep the value proposition strong and continue to build Bitcoin native experiences, bring Bitcoin to the world in a way that is just not viewed through the lens of price, but actually viewed through the lens of like value transfer between peer-to-peer, between people. So we're gonna try and lay the land and try and explain, like at a very high level, like what Lightning is, what these guys are building, the tools they're using to build those applications, and hopefully you can go away with some knowledge about how to build on Bitcoin. So just quickly, we've got half an hour, so we'll take our time with this. Who's in here is currently building something on Bitcoin, with Bitcoin, on Lightning, adjacent stuff? Show of hands. So just a few people on the stage and just a couple in the audience as well. Okay, cool. So hopefully we can get you excited about trying to build with Bitcoin and on Bitcoin. So I'll go over to the panelists. I just want to know from each of you, like, what are you currently building with on Bitcoin Lightning? Do you want to start Super Testnet?
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm supposed to do a concert, and so I thought I would build software for people to vote with sats on the next song I should sing during the concert. So that I'm going to try to have that done by tomorrow. I just thought of the idea this morning.
That's cool. I'm Francis. I am the developer and creator of Chain Duel. Chain Duel is a competitive Lightning video game. Both players deposit sats, and then they play the traditional snake game, and the winner withdraws the prize.
Cool. I'm currently working at BIPA, which is sponsoring this event. It's not a game of some sort, but buying Bitcoin is also fun. So I did, actually I stole Francis' idea for a workshop that I did, but I didn't do Snake, I did Pong. It's quite fun.
Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about like ways to encourage people to use Bitcoin in new and novel ways. So you mentioned gaming as one of those mechanisms. Can you maybe speak a little bit more about, in detail, about why you think gaming, gamification, gaming software is like a portal into the Bitcoin world, and how Bitcoin is like unique, how Bitcoin can be uniquely applied in gaming?
So, as most people here, I'm sure they know, games are very engaging, and most people really enjoy interacting with software through games. And Bitcoin is a very good addition to video games, especially with the Lightning Network that allows instantaneous and very cheap payments to occur. So that's perfect for games that have some time-sensitive constraints that users want to get instant feedback with the payment. So that's Lightning is one of perfect technology to apply in video games and make them more engaging and to educate people on Bitcoin and Lightning while they are having fun.
Okay, and how do you envision how Lightning is integrated into games? Is it like you download a game and there's already a Bitcoin Lightning wallet in the game, or you have your own wallet and the game is interacting with your wallet? Like, how does that experience like tend to look like?
The way we implemented it on Chain Duel is that there's QR codes with LNURL that allow people to deposit and withdraw the sats. Chain Duel is we want people to use Bitcoin, to interact with Bitcoin. So if we are providing users a wallet when they install the game, they are not really having the deepest Bitcoin experience. Also, we like that every user, that especially here in Brazil, we have a lot of users from BIPA, and each place, people have different wallets, and people can choose their own wallet, which showcases Bitcoin interoperability, and that different wallets can all interact with the same environment, in this case a video game, but also the video game provides very valuable feedback for the wallet developers by making sure that all the wallets are compatible with one another and that they are implementing the protocol correctly. So it benefits the players, but also benefits the industry in a whole.
Yeah, I really like that. That's a very good point as well, because it's like you have any game, but you can bring your own wallet. So you can be in anywhere in the world, and to engage in some financial aspect of the game doesn't depend on your geographic location or what financial applications you have access to. So I think that's a very good point you made there. But let's step back a tiny little bit, because we're assuming people even know what Lightning is. So maybe Lorenzo, do you want to give us like a couple of sentences, very high overview of like what Lightning is and why that's quite unique to Bitcoin?
Yes, sure. So Lightning Network is like layer 2 over Bitcoin. The way Bitcoin works, we have blocks every 10 minutes, and in each block we have a bunch of transactions. This is not good for video games, because in video games we want to have instant feedback. So for that we use Lightning Network. You guys are probably using here in the event to buy coffee in BIPA, to buy lunch at the stores. So this is how you get the instant payment. This is basically Lightning.
Awesome. And
Sometimes instant, sometimes they get stuck.
Yeah, sometimes.
do you want to add anything more to that, or like the Lightning analogy?
An analogy for Lightning?
Yeah, or like a simple way to explain.
The
Lightning.
standard analogy for Lightning is an abacus. What's the Portuguese word for abacus? Abaco. Which is like some beads, and basically if you put a bunch of Bitcoin into a Lightning channel, you distribute it. Usually all of it's on your side at first, and whoever you're paying, you just slide over the abacus to them inside of this channel, and then the beads go over to their side, and then those are Satoshis, and then they can send them back. But we've figured out a way, in addition to just having a single channel, we figured out a way to do routing, which allows you to, like, if I've got an abacus with you and you've got an abacus with him, I can pay him because I'll just slide coins to you and you'll slide them to him, and it's great. But the nice thing is these don't have to wait for blockchain confirmation. The money's already in that abacus. The money's already on the rail, and so we don't need to wait for the blockchain to do anything. We've got the keys. We can do whatever we want with it.
Fantastic.
If I can step back just a second for the people that don't know, because I interact direct with a lot of people that don't understand Lightning, or it's their first few experiences with Lightning, and I think it's very important for everybody that are not sure. Lightning is Bitcoin. Lightning is not a side chain. We are not pegging a coin to another coin. Lightning is Bitcoin. Lightning is permissionless. Lightning payments have finality just like Bitcoin, so it's very good tech. It's more complicated and there's still some development to be done. But Lightning is a very cool technology that I think everybody here should try at least once to start.
All Lightning transactions are Bitcoin transactions. Like, you can broadcast them on the blockchain if you want to. Unless you're one of those weird people who runs it on Litecoin. You can do that, I guess.
Okay, so gaming is an area I'm personally very bullish on, and I think we're going to see a lot of awesome experimentation in that area. So we spoke about gaming, we set the stage for gaming. Are there any other like use cases that are quite unique, specific to Lightning, that you guys are excited about and you want to see more people building on top of and seeing more attraction kind of in that area? Any specific other use cases?
I wish I could see more onto the streaming side of gaming. Here in Brazil we have Pix, which is quite similar to how Lightning UX works. So if we could have, I don't know, an app that can integrate both Bitcoin and reais with Pix, and streamers could use that to receive donations, that would be awesome.
One thing that I really like is Zaps. So if on various social media platforms, including Damus, Coracle, Amethyst, and Stacker News, if somebody creates a post, you can reward them for good content by sending them a little bit of Bitcoin.
Wait. But let's go slower. So how do you currently, what's the current model for, issuing or showing your intent that you like something? Let's talk Twitter, let's talk Facebook, and then we'll talk Nostar and Zaps. So set the stage with that first, I think.
So on Twitter, if you like something, you hit the little heart button and you get a little plus icon on there that says you've got 700 likes or whatever, which is great. Everybody likes likes. So, but money's even better. If you can show somebody that you like the content enough to give them some money, that's really cool. And some of these platforms, you can design it so that you only show the posts that have earned some money, or you require them to actually pay some money in order to post. So it's like you really gotta post good content, because if you don't make your money back, you lost, you know? It's that kind of incentivizes good behavior on these networks and a reduction in spam. So I really like that model in addition to, you know, gaming and stuff. Incentivize good behavior on platforms by allowing people to pay to post, pay to reward people for good posts, for good content.
And building on top of what Testnet is talking, I also like Zaps a lot. I think Zaps is a very cool use case right now with Lightning. So Zaps is a Lightning payment that is signed both by the sender and the receiver cryptographically, so the whole world knows that this payment happened, this event happened, and both the sender and the receiver agree that it happened. Zaps are very cool. So Zaps right now on Nostr is a decentralized social network that gives users the control of their data. In Nostr, you can zap a person, which means that, as the testnet was saying, when you like a post, you give them some sats as a like. But in ChainDuel, we also implemented Zaps recently for you to, instead of making a Lightning payment, you can register through a Zap. But since you are signing the event, your identity comes with a payment and allows players to prove, to have non-repudiation that the person that paid for the game is the one playing. So we have identity attached to payments. And this is very cool. I also think Zaps are a very cool technology. Nostr is a very cool technology. And that's why me and my partner, Pedro, that's why we also are developing right now an app that is a Nostr client for Zaps. That we turn Zaps into payments, not only a like, but you can use it to donate to a cause that you like, or to split dinner with your friends and people can send you their part, their share, or it can be used for several use cases. Zaps don't have to be only likes, as Zaps are proof of payment that people can see online.
Awesome. So I'll recap quickly. So we have games, gamification. We have the ability to
monetize content.
Monetized content, so streaming, music, entertainment, art, fashion, that type of thing. We've got instant value transfer in over communication protocols.
Crowdfunding, you just mentioned.
Crowdfunding. The list goes on. And here we've spoken very much about, like, we're spending Bitcoin ultimately here. And you know, right now we're at all-time high. Like, people, my friend just came over to me and said, you know, we're at a Bitcoin conference and you can only spend Bitcoin. He's not much of a Bitcoiner, and he said to me, why would I spend Bitcoin?
Because you're thirsty.
Yeah.
You need to eat.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about, this is not very specific to applications, but just about the challenges of being quite early into building applications that are encouraging people to spend, encouraging people to engage in value transfer in that way. How are you guys, like, approaching it? Are you just focusing on the actual user experience, or is there like an educational element that you have to throw into your experiences as well? I'm curious to see, like, the challenges around that for you guys. Lorenzo, do you want to start?
Yeah, I think that you can, like, your friend, if he had something like BIPA, for example, we're trying to integrate a LN URL protocol that allows users to pay on their, like, using reais, and the other side receives Bitcoin, like Spark is doing, but open source. So he wouldn't have this issue. Like, the payment will be sent over Lightning, but he will be spending dollars, and he wouldn't even notice that he spent Bitcoin. So I think that the key idea is to make the UX seamless, and the user don't need to know about Bitcoin whatsoever. Just need to make to use Lightning as the rails.
That's a very good question. And me, because of the video game ChainDuel, I have a lot of experience with users, people that would like to, they see the game, they think it's interesting, but then they want to play, but they don't have a Lightning wallet, or they don't want to spend sats. And then I normally make a joke. So do you like Bitcoin? And people are, of course I like Bitcoin. I'm in a Bitcoin conference. So you have a Lightning wallet? And they're like, no, I do not have it. So you don't like Bitcoin. So it's kind of a joke, of course. But in reality, if you are really a supporter of Bitcoin, you are spending sats. You have a Lightning wallet on your phone at all times. You want to incentivize your friends to install a wallet and receive some sats. You want to tip a waiter in the restaurant. And this is how Bitcoin will grow, and this is how we will spread the education and the knowledge to people that are not yet wise to the Bitcoin ways. It's not through hodling. I think hodling was not very good for the growth of Bitcoin. It's a meme that was very important maybe while people were uncertain of the technology and they were afraid that the price would go to zero. But now that we are sure about Bitcoin, we love Bitcoin, part of this love is to spread the love to other people and to educate them and the magic of the life that this allows us to live. Thank you very much.
You're all wrong. I disagree. In my opinion, the hodl meme is awesome because the most important thing you can do with your money is save it. A penny saved is a penny earned, right? It applies to Bitcoin too. And so when I make applications where I'm trying to get people to both earn in Bitcoin but also spend in Bitcoin, I'm trying to say, what can I make that is more attractive than saving money? Which is like the coolest thing you can do with money is save some. How can I beat that, you know? So I want to design stuff that makes you want to say, yeah, this is worth me taking some of the money I was going to save and use for my future and use it now because this thing is so attractive, I want to do that. So building stuff that that beats that meme means you've got a really good meme.
That's a very good point.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go into the future just a little bit. Where do you guys see Lightning apps really taking the forefront in the next, let's say, I don't know, 3 to 5 years? Is it, we see a greater proliferation of tools like Nostar and peer-to-peer communication and Zaps, or are games all of a sudden going to switch over to Lightning? Are people going to start taking out like collateralized loans so they only spend their USD, their reals, their British pounds instead of Bitcoin? Like, how do you guys see the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years in terms of, tangible applications people are going to be using?
Yeah. I think that we will have more options to not spend Bitcoin and use like collateralized loans using Bitcoin. I wish to see Nostr being used not only for social media, but all the other kind of stuff that you can use Nostr. Zaps being used not only for social media, but for tipping and sharing your bill at the restaurants and stuff like that. I also would like to see the more seamless UX, so you don't have to go to an exchange, buy Bitcoin, and then send over to Lightning, and you can just like pay a Pix with your Satoshi balance or something like that. I think that the goal here is to make using Bitcoin frictionless. This is how you attract people to use Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is hard to use, then only us here is going to use it, right?
I like to see applications where you can interact with them without needing an identity or a login, because of what he talked about earlier, the payment that you make constitutes your identity for that session. I really like those models. I really like that on Stacker News, for example, you don't need an account. You can use all the features of Stacker News just by being an anonymous person and paying for each post. That's really cool. It also incentivizes people. I really like seeing these applications where you can interact with something without logging in. A crowdfunding application is another example. I think it's way cooler if you go to a crowdfunding website and it's just like, okay, send the money, rather than, okay, you want to send money, first you need to log in, you might need to set up your bank account, we need to know your identity so we know you're not spending someone else's money. Just show the QR code, let him pay the guy, or the girl. Applications that don't require a login, I think, are pretty killer.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also want to say that Lightning is a bit hard to run your own infrastructure. People struggle with running Lightning nodes, the liquidity, the channel management, the custody of the keys because it's in a hot wallet. It will get easier with time. It's already easy if you run Phoenix. You can have your own node in your wallet on your phone, and you just have to manage a bit the channels, and they make it easier for you, and you have custody of your keys. even if you don't have custody of all the data that you receive from their node, but it's getting better with time. And to answer the question, as Lightning is so difficult for the end user for now, but a lot of Lightning, Bitcoin second layers and apps, and they are using Lightning as the de facto communication language to transmit from Liquid to Arc, or from other sidechains that are coming.
eCash is another one.
From eCash, for example. So Lightning is kind of a common language that every Bitcoin second layer can talk to each other to transact and become interoperable.
Fantastic. And so Lorenzo, you remind me of something actually when you spoke about like the frictionless user experience, and that reminds me of like we're gonna need a strong design focus on Bitcoin. So we're going to need designers, people focused on the user experience. Who here has used like a truly peer-to-peer Bitcoin application? Can I just get like a show of hands? And who had a flawless experience? Who felt like this was as seamless as Apple Pay? No one, right? Exactly. So we're very far away from getting that Apple Pay touch type of experience. I don't know if this is specific. We are in Brazil, so maybe we should talk a bit specific here, but like, what can we do? I feel like Brazil and Latin America in general has such a huge opportunity to reimagine financial experiences. One, because much of the Western world is made by regulation, licenses, like there's a lot of legal ongoing battles. Many of the companies who were operating in the US, for example, have left. So places such as this, in my view, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, it does feel like there's a lot of an open space to be had. So maybe like Lorenzo, what do you think could be done to encourage, let's talk designers, to come and work on Bitcoin and Lightning to really help set the vision? And I'll stop in a minute. It's just that, when you use a Bitcoin application, you can tell it was built by developers for developers. We want applications built by designers and developers for the average person. Otherwise, mass adoption is going to be very difficult. So what can we do to get the best? We want the best designers, UX people to work on Bitcoin and Lightning.
Yeah, that's quite a good question. I think that if we have more than just wallets and exchanges, that will attract more designers, because okay, we can buy Bitcoin, we can sell Bitcoin, but there's a lot of more stuff that we can do with Bitcoin. And like, for example, Chain Duo, it has amazing UX. I don't know if you guys have designers or it was, okay, yeah.
I have the best designer in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, because the best designer in Bitcoin works at people, but I'm joking.
So speak to them. We need to speak to them.
Yeah, we need to speak to them. Yeah, and we need more designers, definitely. What you said about the apps being built by developers for developers is very obvious. Another thing that happens is that sometimes your friend is trying to pay an invoice or something like that, and then he scans the QR code and the wallet doesn't recognize the QR code, and then you already go to Lingo. Oh no, that's a Lightning wallet. You're trying to pay with a Bitcoin on-chain wallet, and the guy is not even understanding anymore.
I've been excited to see two developments in the Bitcoin design space. One is Bitcoin design clubs. I was part of experiencing, I think, the first one in Austin, Texas that sprang up. And since then, I think there's been like 3 or 4 around the world that have come up as well. A gathering of Bitcoiners to talk about design principles, to ask questions, to get feedback, to go over latest ideas and new innovations. And I don't know, I'm not really a good designer, so, but whatever they talk about seems good. And then another one that I think is really cool is I see a lot of hackathons now, Bitcoin hackathons, that have a prize category for best design. So we're trying to incentivize people monetarily to say it's not just about the functionality or the new invention or whatever, but actually making it pleasant to use, and something people look at and are like, that looks better than Apple Pay. Let's get to that level.
And I'm sorry, Francis, you said you've got a really good Bitcoin designer. Maybe you don't have to necessarily speak for them, but is there any thing unique that one has to consider when, you know, like,
Yes.
you know, designing for Bitcoin and becoming
So
a Bitcoin?
you guys should come and try Chain Duel. We are in the expo area behind the kids zone. We have very good UX, in my opinion. I'm not a designer, I'm just a software engineer. But I think Bitcoin has a very specific and unique visual identity and language. So we don't want to bring designers from Fiat and that they turn Bitcoin into Fiat. We want designers that love Bitcoin and understand the expression that we are trying to do here, what we are trying to create, and where we are going. So, like Bitcoin is a new change of paradigm that people have to learn and understand, also the visual identity of Bitcoin is somehow different than people are used to seeing fiat companies, of course. And so what we do in Chain Duel that I think it helps a lot in the UX is the identity, the language. It goes very well, in our opinion, with the principles of Bitcoin. And also, the names we are giving in the menus, it's all educational. While people are interacting with the video game, they are learning concepts about Bitcoin that otherwise they wouldn't if we change the lingo to please people that are not as educated. So it's also our job to educate the people's eyes, the way they see the Bitcoin apps.
I wonder if Bitcoin has a unique visual identity in a certain sense. I remember when I first saw a Bitcoin address, it was so strange to see that like this random string of letters and numbers represents your account, kind of. And it was just interesting to see that, and I had to copy that and paste it somewhere if I wanted to get money. A lot of Bitcoin projects are getting away from that now, and they're trying to do like, you can send to username@whatever.com instead of seeing a random string of numbers and letters. And I wonder if it's actually better, if it's more attractive to people to have a little bit of that alien experience, say, I'm entering into new territory here, I am going to interact with and copy paste this random string somewhere. Maybe that's something to retain as we develop.
You know, it's so funny. I was thinking about that to myself as well, because I'm like, you know, we have, without going too much into the weeds, we have many different ways you can receive Bitcoin. You have like a Bitcoin on-chain address, you have a Lightning invoice, you have a Bolt 12 invoice, you have a silent payment, you have a human-readable Lightning address, you have Bit53. There's so many different ways, but then I think to myself, okay, back home, if I want to receive money, I still need to get the recipient's sort code, account number, address, and all of these kind of things. So is it much more difficult than what's going on in traditional? These are the questions designers will help us figure out, you know.
QR codes are also widely used now in payment apps, and I think Bitcoin is a pioneer with that.
Exactly, QR codes, you know, in some situations, are they better than human readable stuff? Is there perfect scenarios when people should copy and paste? So these are the questions that, like, I don't think software engineers are necessarily best equipped to answer, and is where UX can really help.
Well, the good thing about Bitcoin being open and permissionless is that different wallet developers can implement the Lightning wallets in the way, for example, if you use BitKit, they try to simplify and even withdraw from the app all these concepts that we as Bitcoiners are used to, but Fiat people are not. But if you are a more educated Bitcoiner, that maybe you have read Mastering Bitcoin, you can use Sparrow, that is more technical and gives you more control over your UTXOs. So there's like trade-offs, and we can also have the freedom of choice to what we prefer.
Yeah, so go on.
I just like the idea of at least keeping something that's a little different for the users, so that they can say, it's not just like my Fiat apps. This feels like I'm using something different.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
they do, and they don't have to wait 5 days to get the money from another account.
Yeah.
Unless it gets stuck.
So just to finish slightly, you reminded me by mentioning Mastering Bitcoin. So yeah, Mastering Bitcoin, fantastic technical book, and if you're getting started into wanting to work on Bitcoin, it's a must read and a prerequisite. But we don't want everyone to have to read a 400, 500 page book to be able to use Bitcoin. It's like saying to someone you have to read a manual to use the internet. It'd be kind of ridiculous, right? But you guys are building fantastic stuff, so I want you guys to tell the audience, like, what are some of the things, libraries, books, tools, videos that they can use to get up and running and start in their own journeys of building for Bitcoin and Lightning? Maybe Francis, if you want to start.
Well, for Chain Duel, we are using LN Bits LNbits is probably the simplest way to start building Lightning apps these days, because if you're running a node, or you can connect to a funding source, external funding source, and it provides you an API that you can just make requests to get invoices, to payment, like Lightning payments. So it really simplifies for developers that want to build an app, and they already have the idea what their app is going to be, but they don't mandatorily have the Lightning knowledge. LNbits is perfect for this, and other applications like Albi also provides, and Blink also provides an API, for example. There's many.
I've been using Nostr Wallet Connect a lot. nwc.dev is the developer website for that. Provides a simple interface with, I think, six methods to the library, and you can use it for creating invoices, paying them, and listing transactions and stuff. That's great, and it really simplifies the developer experience for me.
I think it all depends on how much control you want on the Lightning side. Like today you can use PhoenixD that manages all the stuff for you. Or if you want to have more control, you can spin up some Polar, Docker containers and interact on hash tests or something like that, and then do the actual stuff on production. But yeah, all the software that you guys talk about seems amazing to build Lightning apps today.
Awesome. I think we run out of time. We do questions or no questions? No? Questions? No, finished. Okay. Any questions for us? I think we've got a couple of minutes. Questions? Anyone want to ask any questions? We've covered everything. No questions. Everyone's excited to build on Bitcoin. Come on, give us at least one question. Come on. There we go. Need a mic.
We'll repeat it.
Fala alto.
Do you have any solutions for recurrency using Lightning? I think Super Testnet have something.
The question was, do you have any solutions for recurrency using Lightning?
Yes.
I believe recurrency is when you make a payment and then it happens again a month later and again a month later.
For example, I have a platform as a
Yeah, a few things. LNURL withdrawal has had support for that for a very long time. So if your user's wallet supports creating an LNURL withdraw strings, you can have them set that you're allowed to withdraw once a month, for example, or once a week. And then also the Nostr Wallet Connect method library that I was talking about also has that. They call it a budget, and you can say you have a resetting budget that resets once a month, and so you can withdraw 10,000 sats once a month, for example. So those are two solutions that I've used for recurrency.
And now so LNURL has some issues with privacy, and because you have to run your HTTP server, maybe centralization as well. So now there's Bolt 12 that has some of the features of LNURL, recurring payments, static address, using Lightning native software, using the Onion route payments for this, Onion messages. So there's other alternatives as well. Bolt 12 probably is the most modern one that people are excited about. And because we are focusing on sending recurring payments, but to receive, you can have a Lightning address.
Or another Bolt 12. That would work too.
Okay, fantastic. We've run out of time. I just wanted to say, I'm personally very focused on UX design and trying to get more designers into the space. So if you do see me around the conference and you're a designer or someone focused on that, do come and chat to me. If someone's got a question, we've got time for one more. I'm kind of taking over here, sorry, but I like this topic, so.
Sure. Hi. Hey, great panel. I was wondering if maybe trying to implement Bitcoin in apps that already exist might be a little easier than making new apps, right? Because when I think about apps that people use, they don't necessarily revolve around money and around Bitcoin. I was thinking if maybe, isn't it easier to convince other famous apps to accept Bitcoin instead of creating new things, new games? Because I don't know, I have played some games that revolve around Bitcoin, some things with some rewards, and I don't know, I have no other word than silly for that. Yeah, but when I think, for example, about a company like Steam, everybody likes playing video games, for example. If they were to accept Bitcoin for games, I think it would be something, I don't know, bigger, more palpable, I think. That's my impression.
All right, that's a statement, a good statement, but we do have to finish now, so thank you everyone for your time, and yeah, do come chat to us if you see us at the conference.
Your question was too hard, so we have to go, sorry.
All right, thank you.
Hey guys, come 1:45, we have the tournament of Chain Duel right now. Come and play, please. 1 million sats for the winner.